Hello. Something happened with the laptop and I got cut off. But anyway, I was talking about how I went to Loop and how I was invited to go back for knit night. And so then later in the week when knit night was happening, I was so tired from touring all day. I thought, I'm not going to go. But my children, one is 20, one's 16, they really encouraged me to go. They said, if you don't go, you're going to be really sad and regret it. And they were right. So I hopped on the tube again because we were staying right in London next to Scotland Yard, the new Scotland Yard. So I hopped on the tube and went, and really, it was really lovely. I had a really nice time. I went upstairs. The ladies were in a circle, knitting away and chatting, and it was just really nice. And one of the women, when I was leaving, joined me as we walked to the tube, and I just had a most lovely conversation with her. When you have a hobby that you share with someone, the conversation is just so easy, I find. And she had just retired, and she was saying there's so many colors and so many types of yarn, and so it was really a nice conversation. So that was the socks that grew up in London, and this was in her Ziggy Stardust base. This pair. The next thing I wanted to talk about was another knitting project that I had talked about in my last podcast, the Vila shawl. This is Helen Stewart Curious Handmade. It's part of the Curious Handmade Shawl Society too. And I had said in my last podcast that this kind of just snuck up on me as a project, but I'm really enjoying it. I'm ready now for the next lace piece, and that will be in also a green because I'm doing it from a gradient set that I got. And so while this one is a darker green, there you go. This is a little lighter, but that's that story. And I'm doing that on the turbos, and I can't remember the first name of them. Addy turbos. There you go. Addy turbos. And I'm enjoying these. So because I just started knitting about 3 years ago, I didn't have, a plethora of needles at hand. So what I did was I bought a kit, and the first kit I bought, was the Addy Turbo kit. I really didn't know much of anything. No, that's not right. It wasn't Addy. No, these weren't my first kit. These were the second kit. The first kit were the carbons, and I just thought it made a lot of sense to just buy the multiple sizes all at once. And I was up in Vermont visiting someone and went into a yarn shop like you do, and the woman talked to me about that and what the benefits were, and so I had purchased those, and I liked them. They were great. And the more I got into knitting, the more podcasts I watched and, your books you read, I'm like, oh, there's a thing about the joins and how pointy they are, and they grab or they don't grab. What are they talking about? So bit by bit, I figured that out too, and learned more. And then I got the Addy Turbos because I had heard a lot of positive things about it, and I like them a lot. This is a fixed set, but I bought the little kit as well. And then when I was in Rhinebeck last year, I had heard a lot about the Chaigu and how sharp they are and how wonderful the needle is. The cable, how flexible it is. And so I had purchased one just to try it, and I really, really loved the cable and the join. It was lovely, really lovely and very easy to work with. Really, a really, really nice tool. So I bought the kit at a vendor at Rhinebeck, and I've really enjoyed them a lot. And these go from US 2, so that's 2.75 millimeter, to 15s, US 15s, and that's 10 millimeter. And I've used them a lot and really thoroughly enjoy them, especially on the socks, because I do like the tip and how sharp it is. I was at Vogue Knitting Live this year, and I heard Sue and Chelsea talk about the signature needles, so I saw them for sale there, and I thought, maybe I'll try try that and see what I think. So I just bought a pair to do two socks with. And let me tell you, you need to be careful. This will go right through your skin. But and they're nice. They're nice to work with, but the cord is definitely not like a Chiaogoo cord. It's much more. I just took socks off of these, and I was kind of dealing with this all the time. And maybe this isn't the right cable length. Maybe I should have had a shorter cable. I don't know. But also, what was happening when I was knitting these socks is these broke. Not this set. It broke right here at the joint. I was shocked because these were. I'm embarrassed to say how much these were. They were $43. One set of needles. So, but I thought they're supposed to be so special. So I contacted Signature Needles by email. Woman was right on it. She said, "Please send me a picture of the damaged needle, and we'll put a set right in the mail immediately." And that's exactly what happened. I got them right away. And so I really thought that was very good business, very smart, very good business. And I'm using them and they're fine. Nothing, they didn't break or nothing happened to them. And these are ones. Yeah, US ones, 2.25. And I'm not sure I would buy another pair. I don't know. I'm kind of bumming on the cable. So we'll see. We'll see about that. Yes, we will. And speaking of Rhinebeck, the night before Rhinebeck, there is a vendor, what do you call it? A vendor group that sells all the yarny goodness the night before Rhinebeck at a hotel. Let me back up for a minute. I was watching Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast last summer. And I had talked a couple of friends into going to Rhinebeck in October because I had said, as I mentioned in my prior podcast, I live in Massachusetts, so it's really not that far. And based on what I had heard about Rhinebeck, it was the Mecca. We had to go. So I rallied them up. And they are prolific knitters. I mean, they've been knitting for years and they do such incredible work. I thought they'll have to go. And they were excited. But we didn't have a hotel, and it was getting late. And so I was watching Yarngasm, and Kristen said, "Oh, I'm going to be vending at Indie Untangled the night before Rhinebeck starts at a hotel called Best Western in Kingston, New York." Oh, let me check it out. So I got online, and sure enough, we got rooms. Not cheap rooms, but we got rooms. And we were there for Indie Untangled, which was a lot of fun. Got to meet Kristen. It was just really fun, and buy some of her Woolen Vine yarn, and also Church Mouse. My friends and I purchased a pattern, and I don't know what the name of the vendor is. I'm sorry, but it was a Church Mouse Yarns pattern, and it was sold with a kit of yarn. Kind of, you would say, colonial colors, and they weren't minis. They were like micro minis, and it was a crochet pattern. And I hadn't crocheted in a long time since I was quite young, but it was this flower scarf that you were to make. And I thought, that is so cool. Isn't this cute? So I'm going to wear it to Rhinebeck this year because we're going to stay at the Best Western in Kingston again and go to the Indie Untangled. And so this shawl, or scarf really, you were to crochet the little flowers. And you got like a micro mini to make about 3 flowers per color. And then you would start up on the next flower, different color, and go on like that so that it would grow over time. But me, Miss Know-It-All, said, "Oh, no. I'm going to do each flower individually, and then I'll put it all together." Even though my friend who teaches crochet and knitting said, you should just attach them as you go. I'm like, no, I think it'd be too much to schlep around. Really? Because I think it weighs like about an ounce. So anyway, I did it my way, because, yeah. And now I had to stop and put all of these together, and that's not fun. It's not fun. So I still have about 4 more to join, but they will be joined, and it will be worn to Rhinebeck. Because you know why? It's more of a decorative piece. It's not really for warmth and, depending on the weather, it can be, I don't know about you, but I suffer from hot flashes. And so I can't really wear a lot of woolly stuff in some of those venues. But isn't that fun? I just loved it, or love it. And I love how it came out. So that's that story. And I talked about the needles, right? And then I did make a purchase of yarn, which I try not to be too, not to spend too much money. But, and I, give me my due. I had never purchased a Mrs. Brown's bag, even though I started watching Grocery Girls from the very beginning and have seen all these great bags being advertised by Jody. I just was like, should I do it? Should I do it? I was thinking, so I saw that they posted this combination. Now, tell me. So Yarn Inc. created this colorway, which is called Beach Life, and Jody made this bag. And it got the better of me. I just could not say no. I was just like, yes, that is mine. So I'm not sure what I'm going to make out of it, because really, should I really put something so lovely on my feet? No, I don't know. But maybe a shawl, right? Because I have the Shawl Society 2 patterns. That might be a beautiful shawl, right? I don't know. To be determined. I look forward to it, though. So that's that. And I have been reading Magpie Murders, just finished it, by Anthony Horowitz. And I would recommend it. It's a good story. It's an interesting plot. It's like a mystery inside a mystery, especially if you love English mysteries. And so I did enjoy that. And the podcast that I've recently discovered, I don't know why I've been so late coming to this party, but Kate of Hawthorne Craft Cottage, she is out of Northern Ireland. And I've just really enjoyed trying to catch up on her podcast, learning a lot. I love her vibe, love her aesthetic. It's been really fun to catch up with her. So I think that is about it. This has been a lot of fun, and I hope it's been enjoyable for you. I said that in my last podcast that I'm on Instagram as Quiltknit17. No, I'm not. You'd think I'd know that. I'm on Instagram as G Ferry, F as in Frank, ERRI. And so please check out my feed, and I hope to see you again on this podcast. Take care. Bye.